Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, everyone, now let's continue our lesson in Unit 3. If in the previous unit, in Unit 1 and Unit 2, you have already learned about main idea and supporting details. And in this unit, you are going to learn about coherence and cohesion. Okay, the topic is about health, stress, and health. Okay, so for the listening skill that you are going to learn today is about coherence and cohesion. Okay, so you are going to listen or to identify about uh, organizations in listening, yeah, or listening for organization, which is called speech markers. And then you're going to listen for some examples as well. Okay, but before we are going to practice your listening skill, let me start from the explanation about coherence and cohesion. Okay, a text has coherence when all of the ideas are related to the main idea of the text. Meanwhile, cohesion is the use of words and expressions to connect ideas within and between sentences. Understanding coherence and cohesion will help you to follow readings and lectures and to write more effectively. Ay, suaranya kerekam. Masih tapaya terus. Why understanding coherence and cohesion in a text is very important? Because you know, it will help you to follow readings or lectures and to write more effectively. Okay, well, now normally, yeah, for cohesion, using connectors for cohesion. So connectors are usually used to make a paragraph or a talk to be cohesion. Okay, so let me repeat once more. So coherence when all of the ideas are related to the main idea of the text. Jadi coherence itu satu kesatuan ide ya yang berhubungan dengan main idea. Jadi tidak ada main idea atau topik yang nggak nyambung. Misalnya ada judul kuliah tentang misalnya apa ya? Oke, how to make meatball misalnya ya. Bagaimana cara membuat bakso. Terus tiba-tiba di paragraf keduanya atau ketiganya ada cara membuat rujak gitu ya. Nah, itu nggak coherence namanya. Jadi seharusnya semua ide yang ada dalam paragraf ataupun dalam talk, sebuah talk itu saling mensupport idenya. Jadi tidak boleh loncat-loncat ya. Nah, while cohesion is the use of words and expression to connect idea within and between sentences. Nah, jadi kalau cohesion ini semacam perekat lah, lemnya. Nah, gitu ya. Jadi it's like a glue. Jadi untuk menghubungkan ide-ide tadi itu butuh words or expressions yang disebut dengan cohesion. Now, while coherence and cohesion is very important because it will help you to follow readings or talks or lectures and to write more effectively. Ya. Now, connectors usually used for cohesion. Yeah, to make sentences or paragraph to be cohesion, connectors are always there. So connectors, what is connectors? Connectors are words and expression that connect two ideas in a sentence or combine two sentences. Ya, jadi dia semacam penghubung ya ataupun jembatan ya. Nah, dari dua ide atau dua kalimat. Use and to connect ideas or to combine sentences that are similar or to give extra information. So we usually use and, yeah, to connect ideas or to combine sentences with similar or that give extra information. And we use but to connect ideas or to combine sentences that are contrasting or opposite. Okay, so we use and if we want to connect the same or similar idea or to give extra information. While we use but if we want to connect ideas or combine sentence which have contrast or opposite meaning. Yeah. Well, for example, connecting ideas. I need to study. I need to finish my paper. Okay. So there are two ideas here or there are two sentences. I need to study. Full stop. I need to finish my paper. So when we want to combine the sentence or to connect the ideas, I need to study and finish my paper. So we use and to connect these two sentences. Next, my job is interesting. My job is stressful. Okay. So when we use connector to combine the sentence, it becomes my job is interesting but stressful. Okay. This is the example of connecting ideas. Next, the example of combining sentences. I have too much stress. My family doesn't help. When we use connector, it becomes I have too much stress and my family doesn't help. Second example, I don't have enough money. I feel fine. Okay. Well, when it is connectors, it becomes like I don't have enough money, but I feel fine. Okay. So to combine two complete sentences, use comma before and or but. Okay, for example, this sentence, when it is combining sentence, so we use comma before the connectors. And then do not use a comma to connect two ideas in the same sentence, in the same sentence. So when you want to connect idea in the same sentence, like the first example, you don't have to use comma, yeah, a comma. But when you want to combine two complete sentences, you must use comma before the connectors like this. All right. Okay. Well, guys, before you listen, I usually give you, some reading activity first. But before you read, yeah, try to practice or try to pay attention on coherence in texts. Okay, so let me explain shortly. Coherence makes a text easy to understand. In a coherent in a in a coherent text, yeah, first, all ideas support the main idea. Or in other words, teks seperti apa yang kita bisa sebut bahwa teks itu coherent, ya. So there are four criteria to call that a text is coherent. The first, all ideas support the main idea of the text. Second, each paragraph discusses only one main idea. So if there are two main ideas in one paragraph, so the paragraph is not coherent. Well, the The third criteria, the connection between ideas is clear. Okay. And the last, the organizations and order of ideas is logical. All right. So now let's look at transition words. Okay. So using transition words for cohesion. Transition words or phrases create cohesions by how? Yeah, by showing the relationship between ideas and paragraphs. So they are often at the beginning of a sentence or and followed by a comma. Yeah, this is what we call transition words or transition phrases. Yeah. First, to add information about or build on ideas from previous sentence, use also or in addition or moreover. Okay, so these terms are similar in the meaning to the words and. Nah, so besides using and, you can use also or in addition or moreover. They have the same meaning, right? For example, I'm stressed. I get upset with people. In addition, I worry about my family. Also, I'm worried about finding a job. I have to study for an exam. Moreover, I have to finish a paper tonight. Okay. So you guys can use also in addition or more at the beginning of sentence. See, look at this. They are often at the beginning of sentence and followed by comma like this. While and, you cannot use and, okay, at the beginning of sentence. Yeah, you cannot use connectors and or but at the beginning of sentence. No, okay. So you can use to add information, you can use and in addition or moreover. All right. Meanwhile, for to contrast information, you can use however or on the other hand. Okay. These terms are similar to in meaning to but. Okay, but remember, and but cannot start sentences or it cannot be in the beginning of sentence. They are normally in the middle because it functions to connect idea. Okay, so you can put however or on the other hand to show contrast at the beginning of the sentence. Examples: my friends want me to help them with their problems. However, I have no time. Next, my housemate is very friendly. On the other hand, he always makes a big mess. Okay. Use these transition words at the beginning of a sentence. Do not use them after a comma. All right. Example. Do not use them after a comma. This is the wrong example. Many women are stressed, comma. However, working mothers are the most stressed. So don't use them, yeah, after a comma. You should use them in a correct way. It's like after full stop. Okay. Yeah, many women are stressed. However, working mothers are the most stressed. Okay, guys, before you do your listening activities, um, I would like you to try to, measure your stress scale. Okay. Yeah, the student stress scale. Okay, please read each item here. The events, yeah, the stressful events or events which make you stressful. Okay. For example, the death of a close family member. If it events make you stress, you can tick, but if it doesn't make you stress, you just leave it, okay? Or maybe, for example, that of a close friend. If it makes you stressful, you can tick it. If not, yeah, you just leave it blank, okay? Yeah, there are some questions here you need to, it's like a reflection, yeah. It's like a mirror for you to know in which event makes you stressful. Okay, so make sure you guys read each item. Okay, now after that, if you have already finished doing the stressful scale here, yeah, stressful events, um, I want you guys to complete each statement in a correct word. Yeah, I want you to complete this question in a correct keyword. Yeah, for example, is it already 4 p.m.? I didn't blah 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 blah. It was that late. Okay, so you are free to complete the word but with a correct keywords. Okay, and then you need to also um, complete a questionnaire. Yeah, I want you to tick one of um, these items, whether it is always, sometimes, or never. So the student stress questionnaire. How often, guys, do you use these stress management techniques? So you see, there are, well, we cannot avoid to be stressful in our life, but there are some stress management techniques. So which one do you always do, sometimes do, and never do? Okay, so you can use start from the first technique first. For example, I make a schedule to manage my time. Do you always do this, or only sometimes, or never? You just take it. And if you have another stress management techniques that you usually do, you can add 3 more here. Okay, for example, I eat chocolate. Yeah, so one of my stress management, I eat chocolate and ice cream. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, so it's, or maybe you can chat with your friends or video call with your friends. Maybe when you are stressed, you always do that, sometimes or never, you just tick it. Okay, now, okay, this is let's move to the global listening. Well, you are going to practice listening for organization or speech markers. So when you listen, it's very important that you recognize or you know about speech markers. So in this unit 2, you learn special words or phrases to show the introduction. Yeah, to show the introduction, main ideas, and conclusion of a presentation. Okay, so these expressions are called speech markers. Now, listening for speech markers will help you follow presentation and lecturers and understand how they are recognized. Okay, so guys, speech markers, you need to like pay attention to speech marker. Coba dikenali speech markernya karena dia biasanya itu semacam apa ya, petanda. Nah, kalau misalnya there is a lecture, ya, ada kuliah atau talk atau seminar atau konferensi, nah itu pasti akan dimulai dengan introduction, and then people start talking about the topic, and then the content, the body, and then the conclusion. Okay, so now please, this is very important to know about speech markers. Okay, so introduction, ya, speech marker. Nah, speech markers for introduction, jadi dia semacam kalimat pengantar lah, ya, phrase kata-kata atau frase untuk memulai atau untuk mengantarkan sebuah percakapan, ya, atau talk. Oke. Well, today I'd like to talk about, nah pasti setelah orang ngomong ini berarti dia mau memperkenalkan topik, ya. So today I'd like to talk about, or today's topic is, the focus of today's lecture is, that's the speech marker for introduction. Okay. You can also use this when you want to make a video or when you want to present a paper. Okay. Yeah. And the speech marker for main idea. The first, the second, the next, the last point. So you will listen, speaker saying the first point or the second point, the next point or the last point I'd like to make. Okay, so it's mean that person is talking about idea, okay, or main idea. Well, next, this bring us to another point I'd like to make, blah 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 blah. And finally, now let's talk about main idea. Well, the speech marker for come to conclusion, it means it is to sum up today's lecture, or in conclusion. That's the speech marker. It's mean the speech mark, the talk or the lecture has been finished. Okay. So guys, you are going to listen to the beginning of a presentation by a counselor from a campus. A campus service office. Okay, check the answer. What is the main idea of the presentation? You can check, you can tick them. And the second, what expressions does the presenter use to introduce the main idea? Okay, are you guys ready? Okay, here we go.
Hello, everyone, and thank you to Dr. Ayala for inviting me to speak to your class today. Now, research shows that college students are more stressed now than in the past. Does that surprise you? So today I'll talk to you about stress management techniques, helpful ways to manage or lower stress. The first technique I want to talk about is called stress inoculation. When you use stress inoculation, you learn what gives you stress, and then you try to change how you behave in that situation.
Okay, right. So if you need to repeat again the audio, you just need to go back. Okay, play again the audio. So what's the main idea of the presentation? Okay, and then what expression does the presenter use to introduce the main ideas? Okay, all right, I'll play once more.
Hello, everyone, and thank you to Dr. Ayala for inviting me to speak to your class today. Now, research shows that college students are more stressed now than in the past. Does that surprise you? So today I'll talk to you about stress management techniques, helpful ways to manage or lower stress. The first technique.
Okay, yeah, that's for completing this, to answering this question 1 and 2. Now let's move on. Now guys, let's listen to the entire presentation and then complete the middle column of the chart with the main ideas in the box. Listen again and then write the speech markers. Listen again and then write the speech markers used to introduce each main idea. And then compare your idea with a partner. No, you don't need to do that, to do this. You just need to complete this table. Okay, there are introduction, part 1, part 2, part 3, and conclusion. So what you have to do, you need to listen to the lecture and then write the main ideas, and then the speech markers. Okay, write the speech markers. Okay, are you guys ready? All right, here we go.
Hello, everyone, and thank you to Dr. Ayala for inviting me to speak to your class today. Now, research shows that college students are more stressed now than in the past. Does that surprise you? So today I'll talk to you about stress management techniques, helpful ways to manage or lower stress. The first technique I want to talk about is called stress inoculation. When you use stress inoculation, you learn what gives you stress, and then you try to change how you behave in that situation. For example, at least a few of you must be afraid of speaking in public. If you had to give a class presentation next week, you could prepare for this stressful event by taking small steps to get used to the situation. For instance, you could practice your presentation in front of your friends, in front of a mirror, or on video. Studies show this technique can reduce your anxiety in stressful situations. Second, time management is an important way to lower stress. One of the things that causes students stress is feeling like there's too much to do. Studies like the ones by Campbell and Svensson in the 1990s show that good time management skills help students do better in school. One example of how you can manage your time is to make a schedule and write down what you do in a day and how much time you spend on everything. This shows how you're using your time. Ask yourself questions like, do I want or need to do each of these things and for this long? If not, make changes. For example, you may need to spend less time in front of the TV. Another example of time management is making a list of things you need to do each day. You may realize that you need to divide projects into smaller steps so you can finish them. And that brings us to a surprising point. People who manage their time well often schedule time to relax too. That's also an important technique to use. Finally, having a healthy lifestyle also helps manage stress. Things like exercising, eating good foods, and getting enough sleep keep your body strong and give you energy. When you feel healthy, you'll be able to manage stress better. So, to sum up, a few easy stress management techniques can help students in a lot of ways. They lower stress, help you live a healthier life, and help you be better students. Any questions? Hi, class. Good morning. Everyone ready? Okay. For today's lecture, we're going to talk about some common characteristics of the folk tale. Most of us know some very old folk tales. People shared these stories orally for years before writing them down. Since people told stories instead of writing them, the stories changed in between places and with each storyteller. Each new storyteller made changes to the stories based on his own traditions and culture. For example, many cultures have stories like the Raven Tale about how people got light. In these tales, though, the main character is another type of animal. So, to sum up, folk tales began in the oral tradition, and as a result, they have changed over time. Next, the characters in folk tales are similar. They are usually ordinary characters who do extraordinary things. They usually have only one or two strong characteristics. For instance, the chief in the Raven story is selfish and not very smart. But Raven is very generous. He wants to help people. And
Oh, sorry, guys. I I didn't notice that the audio change. Okay, well, I will repeat once more. Okay, it's only for unit 3 first.
hello, everyone, and thank you to Dr. Ayala for inviting me to speak to your class today. Now, research shows that college students are more stressed now than in the past. Does that surprise you? So today I'll talk to you about stress management techniques, helpful ways to manage or lower stress. The first technique I want to talk about is called stress inoculation. When you use stress inoculation, You learn what gives you stress, and then you try to change how you behave in that situation. For example, at least a few of you must be afraid of speaking in public. If you had to give a class presentation next week, you could prepare for this stressful event by taking small steps to get used to the situation. For instance, you could practice your presentation in front of your friends, in front of a mirror, or on video. Studies show this technique can reduce your anxiety in stressful situations. Second, time management is an important way to lower stress. One of the things that causes students stress is feeling like there's too much to do. Studies like the ones by Campbell and Svensson in the 1990s show that good time management skills help students do better in school. One example of how you can manage your time is to make a schedule and write down what you do in a day and how much time you spend on everything. This shows how you're using your time. Ask yourself questions like, do I want or need to do each of these things and for this long? If not, make changes. For example, you may need to spend less time in front of the TV. Another example of time management is making a list of things you need to do each day. You may realize that you need to divide projects into smaller steps so you can finish them. And that brings us to a surprising point. People who manage their time well often schedule time to relax too. That's also an important technique to use. Finally, having a healthy lifestyle also helps manage stress. Things like exercising, eating good foods, and getting enough sleep keep your body strong and give you energy. When you feel healthy, you'll be able to manage stress better. So, to sum up, a few easy stress management techniques can help students in a lot of ways. They lower stress, help you live a healthier life, and help you be better students. Any questions? Hi, class.
Okay, so guys, that's all about the audio for Unit 3. Okay, so well, if you need to repeat the audio again, you just need to go back in this video. Okay, you can play back. Well, after you complete this table, guys, I want you to continue to make you having better understanding. Can you please decide the sentence from number 1 to number 4 whether they are true or false? Okay, yeah, uh, try to understand the sentence from number 1 to number 4 and then write if they are true or false. Okay, well, and then another focus listening. Yeah, it's all about listening for example. Okay, uh, in the previous listening you have already listened about you know, speech markers, how speaker start the sentence when they want to introduce a topic, when they want to sum up or to make conclusion, and so on. Okay, so now practice to listen for examples. There are other speech markers, of course, that speakers use to introduce examples. So the speech markers you have listened earlier uh, hasn't complete yet because not all speech markers have been introduced previously. Okay, so to introduce examples and to create cohesion, there are some speech markers for introducing or uh, for introduce examples. Yeah, they are, for example, or one example of blah 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 is, and another example is, and for instance, and to illustrate, or blah blah blah, such as, like. Okay, so pay attention to these speech markers as you listen to lectures. They show that an examples follows. Okay, guys. So here there are, in this table there are 4 columns. Okay, techniques, expressions used, lecture examples, and my examples. So in the last column you need to give your own examples. Okay, so please listen to the presentation again and then note the expressions the speaker used to introduce examples. Okay, so please go back again, guys, to the audio, and then but this time you need to take notes on the example in the lecture examples columns, this one. Okay, technique, there are some techniques to manage stress. The first, for example, inoculation, expression uses for examples and lecture examples. What did you listen from the explanation, and then give your own examples. Okay, yeah, so there are, this is the second, they're just the same. Stop. Tuh lo dipanggil, Kak. Yeah.